Don't worry, I'm not a professional, I'm just a big poser. So I've spent about a week recovering from festival blues, and now I think I'm back and I think I can be alive and kicking once again. So wish me luck with my recovery. So, not so long ago, I went to Download Festival. I skipped my talking about last year's Download Festival that I went to, sadly. I also covered Sonosphere in 2014, so that's where this whole thing stems from. Now, I'll talk about everything chronologically, because I don't want to just talk about the bands per se, but I want to talk about my experience. This is sort of a vlog, after all. So, I drove up there, picked up a friend in Watford, and then went all the way up the M1. That was very scary for me because, number one, I haven't driven that far before. That was a 5-hour drive for me. Plus, the M1 with average speed cameras was a bit of a misty Silent Hill type aura where you just couldn't see much in front of you. Normally, they open Download at 12 o'clock, but for us, especially because they knew I was in the queue, they opened it a bit earlier. So we got in and went to the Blue Camp, and I gotta say, a 5-man tent for that reason does wonders. The gazebo was set up, and the sun caught my glorious bum. So I can't really complain, really. The next day we went to get some booze via the bus through the co-op, and we did some plane spotting. That was more of a relaxing day, ready for everything else, ready for the rain to hit us hard. And I'll get to that because it did hit us very hard. If you think about Download 2012, I wasn't there, but from what people have told me, it was worse than that. Got worse for wear on the Thursday night, so started doing some Joker impressions, which I think...
Oh, operator, it appears I've been disconnected.
deserve to be on Britain's Got Talent. So there's the introduction, let's go into the bands. So Delane were on the acoustic stage. I think I saw about 2 songs with a friend, and then I said, hang on, this clashes with Royal Republic, so I need to go off and see them. You stay here, keep this spot warm that I'm not going to stand on. So I went to see Royal Republic, and they pretty much blew the roof down with their set, rocking and rolling their weed up in paper. When it started to hail, that was when Baby Metal were playing. Baby Metal was one of the most fun moments you can have in a crowd, because anybody can just do anything in Baby Metal, because they're that sort of catchy sort of metal, and you can say metal so many times that allows someone like me to do a can-can in a mosh pit. Megitsune is just that song that provides that sort of feeling. For me, mostly. There was the NXT screening in the tent as well. That was pretty much like Lord of the Rings last year when they posted the trilogy in the cinema and everybody was just shouting out chants for that, or just heckling the screen. That can't really answer back to them. But for NXT, it was just chants, like someone trying to direct loads of chants to be said in the crowd, and then everyone just going, sit the fuck down, sit the fuck down. It was fun. I cashed in my money in the bank. If someone's got a video of that, that'd be great. Killswitch Engage had a solid set with plenty of favorites to go around. Jesse holding his own out there, and Adam fucking someone's mother in the night, as far as I'm aware. The Lemmy tribute was great. There was pretty much a documentary showing on screen of how he lived his life, people who knew him saying what he was like, as well as footage from Download 2013. Korn were brilliant. They were providing some experimentation on the drums, as well as the rain just adding to the entire setting. The only regret is I didn't swim in the mud. Yeah, it's a survival mission, the entire festival, so I can only do that on a Sunday, unfortunately. However, the rain stopped for Rammstein, which was great. They played a new song called Ram 4 at the moment. I don't know if they're going to change the name of that song, but it was pretty much a song where they just chant all the names of old songs, pretty much. But it was still good. It had a nice beat to it, and the set is always a thunderous one, providing many costume changes, as well as showing that they have transcended into heaven. So that was the Friday. We ended up going back to the tent, and keep in mind that the walk from the campsite to the arena is about 25 to 30 minutes, something like that. And the gazebo hit our tent, we believe, which is why a big puddle of water was in our tent. So that took some experimentation in itself, referring back to Korn from using an empty Pringles can to scoop all of it out. It worked wonders, so I was down Pringles that night. Saturday was just an NXT event all day, as for those who don't know, NXT, WWE, came to Download. I was wondering if they were going to have the same events or the same matches on each day, but they did change it up a bit. The one I saw was pretty much Bobby Roode's debut, for one. That was pretty epic. Bloody reflective. There. How's that? There. That's not better. What is wrong with you? And then there was Revival hitting each other all the time, and I sadly lost a shirt with loads of autographs on it. Brilliant. Because I went to sit down, and when I got up to meet some people, I just left it there. So I decided to sunbathe for Rival Sons because the sun came back out, and then I got back up for Megadeth. They were pretty solid, and then as soon as I went to go to the toilet, I had to hold it in because I heard Triple H's voice. Nobody knew he was going to be on stage. He got booed at people at the front, some old school fans saying you have nothing to do with music. I don't know, he has Motorhead's song as his theme. I saw Skindred, and we all had to take off our shirts and use them as a windmill whilst Warning was being played. I also got called a cunt in the meantime, but it was worth it. Black Sabbath was band of the weekend for me, for sure. I mean, the mood was right, and I was going to consent to sex with someone in the crowd whilst lighting a candle and holding it up in the air. If they weren't pissing in a bottle, of course, because that would ruin it. They played Fairies Wear Boots, which is one of my favourite songs, and you know, the rain came back out for Sabbath. It came out for Skindred, but for Sabbath, it was well-fitting. I mean, if it just came out for Sabbath, I wouldn't have minded, but for the whole weekend, yeah. June, you know, you need to reevaluate your priorities. So for the Sunday, I decided to take some stuff back to the car so we wouldn't have to take a lot of stuff back to the car in the morning of the Monday, and have to go straight from there to see Amon Amarth, who were a great wake-up call for that morning in itself, because everybody's bound to be hungover and everything, just suffering from the rain. So there's got to be something good coming out of that. As their set was also pretty epic as well. I caught the end of Grand Magus and then went to see Delane straight after that, right at the front, which was cool. And I definitely need to check out more of their stuff. Definitely. And I stayed at the front because then Periphery were out, and to be honest, they never seemed to disappoint. I hadn't heard that new song that they played while they were there off Periphery 3. So it was nice hearing that as well. I only wish that they played a bigger set because they have so many songs that are well deserving of, you know, being played. 30 minutes just doesn't seem like enough for them. Then we went to the Maverick tent where we had another journey to the front, which was pretty endless. We started off with Frank Carter, just the end of his set, and then it was Tremonti straight after that. So I think we were at the front for that, near it enough. And then Electric Six, who personally I'm not all big on. My purpose was waiting for Gojira. And Gojira right at the front with the set they played. Definitely for me, the best I've seen them ever. I saw them in 2007 when they were supporting Trivium, and that was their From Master Sirius sort of era. Then I saw them at Sonosphere in 2014 with L'Enfant Sauvage, and now with Magma. And those two songs that they played, what are they called? Silvera and Stranded. Really good live. I mean, a lot of people said that Stranded is pretty weak, but live, it's really pumping, as I would like to call it. Pump. I haven't done that in years. Caught some Nightwish with a guy who loved them quite a bit. Floor has definitely come on strong since she joined the band. And I'd just like to take this moment to say that I'm not wearing any trousers in this video. And then for the grand finale, there is Iron Maiden. Now, one thing I want to say about Iron Maiden is that Sky Arts, if you don't have any plans to release certain songs out to the public when you do the highlights, Blood Brothers has to be one of those songs. Personally, it's just because they made a speech about the Bataclan and Orlando shootings, and then dedicated Blood Brothers to that. It's only fitting. It made the song a lot more emotional. There was plenty of mosh pits to go around, not during that song, but just linking two stories into one. That might have been one of their best sets, despite the fact that I haven't listened to a lot of the Book of Souls. So when you get a long song that is being played and you don't know a lot about it, you're kind of waiting for the next song to come on. So luckily they did have songs like The Trooper, Wasted Years, Number of the Beast, Hallowed Be Thy Name. They didn't play that in 2014, so it was nice having them play that instead of something like Aces High, although I would like to hear that, but oh well. Sadly, I can't find any footage of them playing Blood Brothers at the Donington download. I can only find it at the Paris one. I can't speak French, sorry, so that's why I'm a bit disappointed in that. So with all that done, that just begs the question, what for next download? Because I said that I wasn't going to go to the next download, mainly to do with the weather. But if they have, this is usually the case, if they have a great lineup and great headliners, then I'll be set. If they they have some of the same ones I've seen before, I won't be too fussed. I mean, I've seen Metallica once, that's great, so maybe I'll go to another festival with them there. But I really like to see System of a Down play there. Maybe something like Foo Fighters or Guns N' Roses will probably be a safe bet. So if they play there, you're goddamn right I'll go. But I've got plans, the thoughts about Vakin next year, or maybe something like, I don't know, Hellfest if I can book it in advance. There's a lot of different ones, and Europe just seems to be the best place for festivals. I can say that with great assurance that is indeed 100% true. So, until next time, thank you for listening, and be sure to stay tuned to newer stuff. Lights out.
So this year, we're going to get back to our roots and just stray towards the safe side with a chronological rundown, so that we don't get tangled up at all. Next is a self-portrait of mine. This really took a lot of time out of me to actually get this as right as I wanted to get it, just to